So a quick update. What we've got now in Bitcoin, we had a dip down just in this last hour, down to 30,000. You have to look at it like this is an opportunity. You know, when it dips like this, when it comes down, yes, it might go down to that 21-week moving average, which is not much in excess of 20,000. I'll get up in a minute. But look, this level here. So let's draw a trend line where it got to. So we got down here about 30,200, and this was quite a big inflection. This was quite a big point actually. Looking left, back to the other day when we had a correction. So we had a correction down from. We got to. Sorry, get my ugly mug out of the way. We got to where here? We got to highs of 34,000. Don't know if you remember that, and that was just into January, the 3rd of January. It's been such an upward trajectory. We then had this correction down, didn't we? From there down to 9 a.m. on the 4th of January. We went down to 20. We dipped down to 28,000. Well, the closing of these hourly candles is at the point that we've just dipped down to now. And by the looks of it, there's quite strong buying support at those levels because we've bounced all the way back up to $3,000 in a matter of about 10 minutes. And looking at that looks to be quite a key level since, we're only looking back to January the 4th. So we're not looking at a long time ago. We're looking at 1 week ago. In the last week, where we've been up to the heights of 42,000, we think, we're looking at it now like we're struggling a little bit. We're just having a natural correction. We're nowhere near in terms of anywhere near. Yes, the moving averages have turned bearish on this hourly chart. Let's have a look at the weekly chart and look for that crucial weekly moving average. And it'll show you how far ahead we still are. We are so far ahead that we should be expecting these dips in the market. I don't know what these drawings are. Let's get rid of all of that. Right, so this 21-week EMA is the key moving average that in a proper correction during an uptrend, we are due to come to. And if you look, that moving average is 20,540. So we're still way ahead of that. Now, this is the key one, and I made the mistake earlier in my video. I kept on saying the 21-week EMA when I was looking at the 20-day EMA. If we go back to the all-important time in the summer, now this was when I thought, right, this is confirmation of a Bitcoin bull market is here. It's come. From March, we went up, and when we went up to highs of 12,000 in August, we came down then in our big correction. We had that big week where we went from highs of 12 down to lows of 9,800. We hit that 21-week. Look, let me try and make that even bigger so you can see how important when we contacted this 21-week EMA, bounced off it 1 week, 2 weeks, stayed above it in the middle of September, then came back down, touched it again. When we kept doing that, I thought, right, she's either going to break right through it and go lower, but where we weren't closing any weekly candles that near it, these were just wicks. These wicks to that 21-week moving average were bullish signals that we were using that as strong support. And then look what happened. We moved away and we're nowhere near it. We're nowhere near that. Look at how these candles have gone out of control. Now, in a correction, in a bull market, that is where it touches. And I've been saying for a long time now, that we could have a correction during Q1 this year, January, February, and March, where we go sideways and down, and this will continue to catch up, and then we touch upon it round about the middle of March, and that will be around there. So we could be as low as 27,000. You have to realistically expect these things. We could be as low as 26,000 in March in a healthy pullback. Considering the bull market we've had a healthy correction down to 26,000 by mid-March would be good for this market long term, for the prospects of this market long term. If we come down here, we come down, we might go up again and then down. If we come, and this 21-week moving average will have caught up then, we can use it as support. And then by that time will be perfect timing for April. April is the beginning of the financial year. It's the beginning of quarter two. And every single previous quarter two, I could go back now and show you, every single previous April has been strong. Sometimes, like in 2018 when Bitcoin was in a bear market, it proved that April was strong and the rest of quarter two petered out into the bear market. Well, I think this year we could have a stunning quarter two, like we had a quarter two in 2019 and 2020, but not if we keep going up. If we keep going up the rate we've been going up and we go up to 50,000 by the beginning of April, or, we're at 4, we got to 40, if we got to 50, that's not the rate we've been going up. We've been going up far, far more than that. If we keep going up how we've been going, we'll be at 60 or 70 by the time it's the beginning of April. Now, I think that we'd be better off consolidating for a while and then coming into April and grasping the potential of April as a bullish month. Let those oversold, because we're well oversold on the week, overbought on the weekly chart. We are well overbought still on the RSI. And this is just coming down now. So it would be very good for Bitcoin, for this RSI to come into this purple area here. So this purple area here, I can't get the arrow to go through there. Yeah, if we come into this purple area here, that is the strong zone. From 50 to 70 is a bullish zone. We're in the overbought area. We've been in the overbought since the 19th of October. So you can stay in overbought territory and still keep rising, because we got into it when Bitcoin was 13,000. When we crossed that 12,000 level, we've been overbought on the weekly ever since. So it can keep happening. But where we got to the other day, 95 RSI, that is significantly overbought. Now, if we go back in time to 2017, we were overbought for a brief period in 2019 when we had that crazy bull trap. So we got to levels of 90 in 2017. Look, 90 there. We were at 90. We're higher. We're at 95 right now. That's too high. That's too high. Look, we are higher on the RSI than we were in 2017. That is too high. We need to come back down to levels. In 2017, we went to 85 and then we corrected in November 2017. Let's have a correction into those healthy levels for the RSI. And, it's a great opportunity to continue buying, because if we kept going higher, there was no opportunity to continue to buy, was there? No opportunity to buy. Well, of course, if you look at it in the overall scheme of things, if you are thinking that this will do what Willy Woo and Raoul Powell and Plan B are saying and go to over 100k this year, you could still buy and still. But now the opportunity to buy and make more money is greater. And it will be if we consolidate here into this healthy zone on the RSI. So that's where we are with Bitcoin. And, you can look at the short-term charts and, panic here and there and think, God, what's going on? The RSI is irrelevant on there. And yeah, let's look at the daily chart, because that's the one where, we've hit that 21-week EMA. We've actually just dipped below it now, but we remain above it. We've used it as support. Look, that's where we've dipped below that 20. Now I like to use the 20 here. the 20-day EMA and the 21-week. So I like to use the 20-day on here. It's the 21 weeks that's the important one. Yeah, so we've dipped below it. We've dipped below that 20-day EMA. Wicked below it here. But we remain above it. And if we close a daily candle, so if we close tonight at midnight, if we close midnight tonight below that level, then that's a hint of a trend change. Just a hint. It's not full on bear market begins. It's a hint that this has run out of steam and we're going to see consolidation and more correction. If this closes above that level there, we remain in completely bullish territory where this has just been a retrace, and it's likely if it closes above this 20-day EMA for a couple of days on the trot and tests it, wicks down and tests it, then it's highly likely that Bitcoin will rage on in this bull market, which I've just touched on is not ultimately the best thing to happen to Bitcoin. I think the best thing to happen to Bitcoin would now to go into some sort of consolidation where we come and we touch that 21-week EMA. Now, a lot of people will be saying, no, they want it to continue. They want to see their profits keep continuing. Well, in the long-term picture, you look at it the longer term, if we remain around the 30K area, that gives more opportunity for future profits than if Bitcoin keeps going up to 50 and we're buying little bits at 50. We're not going to have the potential to make as much money in the long term, because this is how we should look at this in the long term. We're looking at daily charts, hourly charts. We should be looking at this in the long term and thinking in a year from now, if you can survive from now for a year and buy lots more Bitcoin at the lower levels, then that's better than if Bitcoin shoots to the moon, shoots to 100, because you're not going to be making as much profit long term then, are you? I was going to look at another coin. So Litecoin's an interesting one because it sometimes leads Bitcoin. So Litecoin has come down here and it's come back to the Fib 50 and used that as support. It's gone way below the 20 EMA, the 20-day EMA. Litecoin has. It wasn't quite as phenomenal. But look, you can see Litecoin does use the 20-day EMA. On the 23rd of December, it used that level. And on the 16th of December. But that was only on the 16th of December, that was the first day that Litecoin properly broke away from that 20-day EMA, because look here, it had used it there, but then it had lost it and come down to the 50-day moving average. Bounced off the 50-day perfectly off the 50-day here, look, on Litecoin. So perfect bounce off the 50-day. Then it got above this 20-day EMA. And that was the uptrend in Litecoin, the 16th of December, from lows of 78. Litecoin went on a great run up to 120, came down perfectly, used the 20 when it came down to 95. From those highs of 120, come down to 95, bounced off that 20-day EMA, bounced up again, went up to 135, consolidated for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. 7 days Litecoin. See, it uses these fibs perfectly. 7 days Litecoin leveled on the Fib 50. Leveled completely on the Fib 50. And then on the 2nd of January, broke above it. Broke up to the 236. And eventually, after 3 or 4 days, got above that. And it's come down quite heavily. That's a heavy candle to go from 170 to lows of 120. That's a 50. What is that? $50. A $50 drop in Litecoin. So, it began at that's a 30% drop in a day's candle. Yeah, that's a 29% drop in a day's candle from high to low. That's quite a bit. Be interesting to see if Litecoin can close above the Fib 50, or it looks like the Fib 382 and the 20-day EMA is going to be at the identical levels at 142. So if Litecoin puts on a bit of a rally later in the day, and sometimes towards the end of a US day, there's rallies. US opens can either begin bearish or bullish. And European days, more often than not, open bearish. Now, sometimes towards the end of the US day, when the European market closes, towards the end of the US day, so in the UK, you're looking at times from about 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., the close in the US. Sometimes that can be a bullish. So if Litecoin closes above the 382, which is going to be the same level as this 20-day EMA, around 142, we're back in extremely bullish territory for Litecoin again. There's been no trend change. Whereas if we close below that 20-day EMA, below the 382, that hints at more consolidation and downward momentum. The one I'm looking at here is the Fib 50. Litecoin has to close above the Fib 50 at 128. If it doesn't, it's a very bearish. Obviously, I'm not talking about long term. I'm talking about the short term. That's a big. That will encourage more selling if it closes below that Fib 50. How's Litecoin been performing to Bitcoin? It's usually quite volatile, actually, Litecoin, Bitcoin. So Litecoin is actually on a daily flat. It's actually doing worse than Bitcoin is today. It's having a rough day, is Litecoin. As you can see, it's very volatile. It's very up and down and very choppy. It's a very choppy combination, Litecoin and Bitcoin. They're big brother and sister, but they do behave. So Litecoin got to highs of recently in Bitcoin. Although Litecoin, it was nowhere near its value in terms of US dollar, Litecoin got to highs in terms of value in Bitcoin in August. And it is very choppy. There's no clear trend there whatsoever. One that I looked at recently, because I looked at it in terms of its performance to Bitcoin, and I've just bought into this. It's a new one for me. Sushi. So Sushi Bitcoin interested me because it was outperforming Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was in a parabolic. Let's have a look on a 4-hour chart on this one. Bitcoin was performing in a parabolic manner and Sushi was outperforming Bitcoin. This is Sushi Bitcoin. So from the 5th of November, Bitcoin has been in an astonishing uptrend, really, hasn't it? It's gone from, let's have a look. I suppose from December the 16th, it's not been outperforming Bitcoin, but still, it's an interesting one because, it must be doing well to US dollar, Sushi, because Bitcoin's been in parabolic uptrend and Sushi has more than doubled in value in that time in terms of Bitcoin. And while Bitcoin's been on a run, you have to take that as, since the 5th of November, Sushi has been an incredible performance because Bitcoin has been parabolic during that time, and this has outperformed Bitcoin.